Hello, everybody. Chairman, always good to see you, my friend. We'll get rolling here in just a few minutes. I don't know how much experience points you need to get the extra life. Not in this game. I wish I did. All right, if you're here on time, go ahead and like the live stream. Give it a thumbs up. Start the night off right with a Coke Zero. Hopefully some more people will be joining. It looks like there's about 5 of you online so far. If you're here, go ahead and leave your name and tell us where you're from. It's good to see you, Chairman. How's the weather over in England? Is it hot season, cold season? I have no clue. I only know where I live. It's freaking hot. I got in my car today. It said 118 degrees. I looked at my watch and my watch said 105. So I'm like, oh man, that's a lot better. So, Rick, welcome. JC, welcome. Good to have you guys. I think I've got a good topic tonight. I think I've got some notes where we're prepared, and I think it's going to be a good discussion. We're going to have another little game, kind of like we played last week. You guys kind of participated, so I had ChatGPT help me come up with another little game. I kind of enjoyed that. I like the interaction. It's time to be nice. Good to have you. So yeah. This week has been going really good for me so far. I am on plan and on point. So I'm not gonna make a claim. I'm not saying I'm back, baby, or anything like that because I don't want to doom myself. But so far so good. Let's just put it that way. So hopefully that'll keep on rolling, and we're gonna talk about some things tonight that might help you guys. Things that have definitely helped me over the past couple weeks. And so that's what we're doing. We're going to give it a couple more minutes for people to kind of get here. There's 11 of you online. So if you're here, let us know if you're a first-time viewer. There's 21 of you now. If you're a first-time viewer or if you are a regular around here, maybe check in, give me your name, tell me where you're watching from. So far, we've got people in Texas, Washington, England. It's usually a pretty small group, but they're dedicated, friendly folks. So if you're here for the first time, welcome. My name's Dude, and we are talking about weight loss. I'm sharing my weight loss journey, trying to be open and honest about it with the good, the bad, and the ugly. And there's been some good, and there's been some bad, and there's been some ugly so far. James from Scotland, yes, welcome. I know it's late. So yeah, I got my notes. I got a good little message outlined for tonight's live. Here's how this works. The first 5 minutes is going to be kind of introductions. Tell us where you're from. Check in. I'll give you a quick introduction of myself. Then we're going to go into a little bit of a lesson. I'm going to just kind of share my thoughts for the week or a topic I've been studying, something like that. And then basically we're going to play a little game, interactive game, and then we're going to have it'll be open mic, questions and answers. So that's kind of the format of the show. We go for about an hour. Actually, not about an hour. We go for an hour. We're committed. So, and some nights it's great, and some nights it's not. Some nights we have great commenters, and some nights we have trolls. But it's all good, right? This is the best. I need a little Yorkshire flag. Yeah, you do, Chairman. Come on. Get with the program. All right, so again, I'm on a 110-pound weight loss journey. I'm not so much dogmatic about the 110 pounds. It's just a good goal. And but we're gonna get down to about 155 to 160, somewhere in there, till I'm nice and skinny and healthy and looking good and feeling good, and that's gonna be where I go into maintenance. So and then worry about building muscle and doing what I can to maintain muscle in an older age. I'm 54 years old. I'm from Southern Utah. Those of you who've been around, I've got 5 children and a wife. Imagine that. And we're just living day by day, trying to get by, trying to lose some weight. So tonight's topic is why? Why do we keep going back to the old habits that made us gain weight in the first place? Woo-wee. If you're watching the replay, yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about. So I want to start off with a question. Now you can think to yourself, you can leave a comment. If you leave a comment, I may read it, but we'll come back to it at the end. But what is one habit that you keep finding yourself going back to? You know, I think we all, well, most of us here who come to the channel regularly are on some sort of a weight loss or health journey. Either you are wanting to lose weight, you're in the process of losing weight like I am, or you're trying to maintain weight loss and healthy changes that you've made over the past, year or so. And there's many of you that are in that boat too. So what's one habit that keeps popping up and you keep finding yourself reverting back to? Think about that. If you want to leave a comment about it, leave a comment about it. And I just want to reiterate that tonight, it's not really about the perfect diet or the perfect workout. I don't really think there is such a thing, actually. I think the best diet for you is the one that you stick with. And I think the best workout for you is the one that you can do. Sure, there's probably good, better, best, and there's better options in some, and you can get into deeper arguments about certain things. But I think the key is that you're trying to go in the right direction, get in the right behavior, and change. I think the ultimate way to gain health is behavior modification. There's a lot of tools and tricks and things you can do along the way to help get you there, but ultimately the only way it stays off is through hard work, consistency, determination, and just not quitting, right? Not going back to old behaviors that got you there. So that's what we're going to be talking about. So I got 8 bullet points I'm going to cover. And then we'll open it up for more discussion, hopefully. If you guys are in a talkative mood. If you're not, we're in trouble. It may be a short live stream. But number 1, why do old habits come back? One of the main reasons, I think, is that old habits are familiar, right? When life gets hard, we tend to go back to what we know. And so we've practiced them for years. Some of you have made this comment in the comments in some of my videos, but it's 100% true that, let's say that you're like me. I consider myself about 100 pounds overweight. Maybe not so much anymore, but I was 100 pounds overweight. So it took you a long time to get there in the first place, right? So you built a lot of bad habits along the way, and you developed those habits. You got really, really good at those bad habits. And those bad habits, the consequence of those habits didn't just happen overnight. They happened over several years, most likely. And it's that compounding effect that then, you wake up one day and you're going, why do I hurt so much? Why am I so tired? Why am I exhausted? Why am I, why am I so fat? How come I look in the mirror and I hate myself, right? Whatever. You end up at this place that you probably never intended to go to, but you build bad habits along the way. So it's going to take some time to reverse those habits. But those bad habits became comfortable, right? So it's the comfort level that we revert back to. Arctic Doc, good to see you. And so, and they come back, I wrote this down. They come back the strongest when we are stressed out, tired, bored, traveling, injured, busy, or discouraged. Now let me ask you guys, just give a thumbs up. Have any of you ever felt any of those things? Do any of you ever travel? Have you ever been injured or discouraged or lonely? I think I've made a video on every one of these topics so far. But that's how it works, right? When life gets tough, we tend to fall back into our old patterns. See, when everything's going good, I kind of mentioned this last week on the live, but I've lost weight in the past. I've done really, really well. I've looked and felt phenomenal. I've been to that place where I'm like, I am never going back. But then something happens, right? Life happens. I don't know what it's going to be for you. It could be a million things. It could be, you got laid off from a job. Maybe there's a death in the family. Maybe you found out your spouse is cheating on you. Maybe a child got hurt, or something happens that gets you down, gets you feeling depressed, gets you feeling. And I know that when you don't really feel like doing it, sometimes it's like pulling teeth to get yourself to do it. And I think we all go through that, right? If I'm right, give me a smiley face or something. Let me know you agree. But I think that's just the facts of life. And knowing better, sometimes we know better. We know what to do. It's never about knowing. Well, okay, for some people, it may be about knowing what to do. There may be some people that just don't know how to eat right. On any kind of diet or whatever. They don't know what's maybe nutritionally sound. There might be some people who just don't know. They've never been to a gym before. They've never lifted a weight before. They don't know. So sometimes there might be a lack of knowledge. But I think for the most part, it's not necessarily the knowing that we need to do better. It's the the power is in the doing. But knowing better doesn't automatically mean that we're doing better. So, step number 2 here, so point number 1 is really that when life does get harder, usually we do not rise to the perfect plan. Usually we fall back into some sort of comfort, right? Step number 2, or point number 2, is find the trigger. So don't only ask, like, why did I eat that? We talked about this a couple weeks ago, the power of questions. Why did I eat that's a horrible question. Your brain's going to come up with a dumb answer, like because you're fat and you're an idiot. That's just how the brain works. But I think a secondary follow-up question helps solve that dilemma in our own minds. And what that follow-up question is don't only ask like, hey, like, why did I eat that, or why am I struggling right now? Ask, what happened right before I wanted to eat it? Right? Because eating the wrong, let's say I'm craving a bag of chips right now, and I go to my pantry and I find some chips in there, and I go, I know I shouldn't, but I just eat the chips, right? Because I give in to temptation, I give into the cravings, I give into the desires, right? The action, once the action's happening, it's hard. It's hard to change the action, right? It's hard to change the action. But what you can do is you can go to that previous question is what, I lost my place here. What happened right before I wanted it? And if you can start to identify that, then I think that gives you a place where you can do a pattern interrupt. Does that make sense? Because if you can look for the patterns and you go, okay, it's a certain time of day that I want to revert back to comfortable things, or maybe it's a certain place, maybe there's a certain emotion, or it's a certain person in your life. Maybe they're toxic. Maybe they, bring you down. Maybe they're a crab in a bucket, right? It's a certain, or things get into a boring routine. Maybe it's The TV, I know this was a big one for me. I used to watch a lot of TV and just, it's like I couldn't just sit there and watch TV. I don't know why. I'd want to sit there and eat snacks while I'm watching TV, right? Some people, on the drive home, if you've got a long commute, maybe that's a place where it's easy to fall back into an old pattern to get tempted. And, weekends, traveling, of course. Weekends are an easy place. I do so much better Monday through Friday when I'm at work. I'm doing intermittent fasting, and it's easy for me to kind of come home, have a plan of what I'm going to eat, stick to the plan. And then if I'm traveling on the weekends and don't have a plan, it is very easy to get off track. You know what I'm saying? So the habit may be the visible problem, but the trigger is often where you can interrupt it. So if you can start to identify the triggers and you know what starts the chain of events, then you've got a better chance of interrupting the chain of events. So number 3, make the bad habit harder. This is a good one for me. Add friction. So don't allow the worst choice to be the easiest choice. So example, if you have trigger foods, if you really know, I don't know why I'm on chips, maybe I want some chips. But let's say the chips is your thing, right? And you're just thinking about chips, and you then don't keep chips in your house. Don't keep a bag next to your chair. You're gonna go for them every time, right? And I would say keep them out of the pantry. Now if you're raising a young family and you got a bunch of kids or whatever, or a bunch of teenagers, sometimes it's hard to eliminate all the junk out of the house. Maybe your spouse isn't eating the exact same way as you. I know mine isn't right now. It makes it harder. And so it's hard to eliminate everything that could be a distraction or a temptation, but at least make it harder. I know one thing that my wife and I did, we used to, it's summertime, it's 108 degrees outside here, and we used to love eating ice cream. A nice cool snack at night while we watched a TV show or something, and we'd always have ice cream in the freezer, or popsicles, or something like that, right? Well, now I'm not eating that. But but the next level for us was making it harder. We didn't buy ice cream. If we wanted ice cream, we had to get in the car, drive down to the Arctic Circle or Dairy Queen or something like that, whatever, and actually buy an ice cream. And there was 2 big bummers to that. Is number 1, it's a drive. The Arctic Circle is 15 minutes from my house. Number 2, it's expensive. So it's a good distraction. It makes it harder to fall. And then it gives you a little bit of time to think, do I really want to go on that drive? Do I really want to spend the money to do that? Right? So you just make it harder. If let's say you've got a problem where I don't know, maybe there's a certain restaurant that you like that doesn't have the best choices, whatever, but you drive by it every single day, it's easy, you have a habit of stopping by, picking up something that you want, whatever, take a different route, find another way to drive home. But the bottom line is, sometimes I think discipline is just making the stupid decision slightly harder to make. So it's not about, just don't keep it at your fingertips, Number 4, we're going to move on. Make the good habit easier. So we've made the bad habit harder. Make the good habit easier. Leave the shoes out by the doorstep. I've started, I think I need to make some more right now. Anyway, that reminds me. But I started getting water bottles, and I just pre-fill them with 5 grams of creatine and half a pack of Element. So I've got a water bottle already in the fridge, cold water with creatine and electrolytes. So I come home from work. Lately, because it's so hot, I jump on my walking pad like I did tonight after work. And the first thing I did was went on a 30-minute walk on the walking pad. I grabbed an electrolyte bottle and I had my creatine and electrolytes ready to go. So again, it's making the good choice or the good habit easier. Leaving the shoes out, so you don't have to go digging through the closet or by the front door, or it just just things that make it easier for you. You want to reduce the number of decisions between you and the behavior that you want. So you just want it to be easy. You know, in business and sales and stuff, I used to always tell people, you know, make it easy for people to pay you. It's the same concept. Make it easy for yourself to make the right decision, make it harder on yourself to make the wrong decision. Make sense? Give me a thumbs up or a yes if that makes sense to you. Number 5, we're moving on. Replace it. Don't only remove it. So you're not just looking to say, well, I'm going to stop doing this. Because, right, if I say, I'm going to stop smoking weed, what else am I going to do? I guess I'm going to start smoking meth. Bad example, I guess, right? but the point is, you want to replace the. I don't know why that came up, but you know, if you're saying I want to stop doing this, you gotta fill the void, right? Or else it's easy to go back and find something just as bad or worse, right? So maybe it's something like, okay, I've identified that I'm a stress eater. So if I have a hard day at work and I'm stressed out, I come home and I want to eat or snack, right? So instead of doing that, when I come home and have a hard day from work, I'm going to replace the stress eating with a short, brisk 10-minute walk. And you can go out around your neighborhood and just go around the block. If you live in an apartment complex, go around the apartment complex. Something, but you could do something to replace what used to be a temptation to fall, right? You can replace it with a phone call, maybe a planned snack. That's something that, whatever. Toothpicks, there you go, G-Man. A shower, music, something else. So instead of sitting there thinking about what would have been or what was the weakness, replace it with something else that you can do it. Zach, Ozempic exist gang. Yeah, I'm not going to turn this into an Ozempic versus dietary choices argument, but you're right, dude. And if that has worked for you, congratulations, you're down 100 pounds. I appreciate that, and I'm glad to see you're using that as a tool in your arsenal. Some of us here on this channel are using GLP-1s, and some of us here are using good old-fashioned dietary choices and exercises, really focused on behavior modification. And my simple philosophy on that is, guess what? It all works if you stick with it. If you quit, the weight comes back no matter what it is. Studies show that people who stop taking the shot regain 60% of the weight in the first year, and almost all participants gain it within 2 years. And I would think that it's the exact same for Weight Watchers or for any dietary program for that matter. So discipline beats motivation. Absolutely. Discipline is the key to longevity. Moving on. Skipping movement. 10 minutes. So instead of skipping a workout or skipping movement or something like that, it's better to do something than do nothing. This is the point on this one. So it's better to go for a 10-minute brisk walk than it is to do nothing and sit on the couch, right? That's just the bottom line. So the replacement for that bad thing that you used to do doesn't need to be perfect, but it needs to be better than the old automatic responses. Does that make sense? If that makes sense, just say yes. Number 6, you got to stop the screw it mentality and the cascade. There's a big, huge trickle effect when you just say screw it. And one bad decision can very often lead to, well, I already screwed up today, so screw it, right? But then the next step of that is, well, I had a bad day, so I'm just going to start again on Monday. and then this Monday becomes next Monday. And then all that kind of stuff. It just spirals on and on and on. So, a bad lunch does not require a bad dinner, and a missed workout does not require a missed week. So you don't need a new day one. You don't need to keep resetting and resetting and resetting. You just need the next decent decision. So if something goes wrong along your journey, the key is just to assess that, know where you're at, and then say, okay, here's where this is what I'm doing. Then the next decision I make is gonna be a positive one. So DG Jr., next decision, make a better choices. Correct. Yeah, John, I'm agreeing with you, dude. That's exactly what I said. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you quit, most people go back and regain the weight. So moving on, I'm not going to belabor that point. So change the next point is change the one thing you can actually execute. So when things start getting tough, don't try and go back in and change 10 behaviors all at once. Because a lot of times we do that because we're mad at yourself. Like, why did I screw up? Why did I do that? And you start beating yourself up. You get into the negative spiral, and you want to change everything all at once. But usually that's just setting you up for some sort of failure. So pick a habit that might create the biggest ripple effect. Like one of the ones, like for me during this past few weeks, I picked walking 30 minutes a day. It makes me feel good. It helps me reset my mental state. It's a good psychological thing. I'm not gonna get ripped walking 30 minutes a day, but it's good for a lot of other benefits. Good for just movement is good. And so that has helped me get to where I'm actually feeling better. And now my diet is on point and my shoulder's starting to feel a little bit better. I don't think I'm ready to lift anything with the shoulder yet, but I'm not 100% convinced that it's a tear. If it is a tear, it's a small tear. It might be more like just a ligament or something that's irritated, that's hurting. So it's getting better, which is good. So, and then use the simple tool I taught you guys this last week and a couple weeks ago, I think, but use the simple start, stop, and continue. What do I need to start doing? What do I need to stop doing? What is already working that I can continue doing? So that's just a little tool. It's a self-assessment. I do it all the time, and it really kind of helps keep your mind focused and identify places where you might be falling weak. And I think that's one of the biggest things is you have to be able to, if you have no self-awareness, and we all know people who don't, you really can't hold yourself accountable. You really can't identify problems in your own life and then figure out solutions to those things because you're oblivious to the fact that you might even be doing them. So a start, stop, and continue is a great tool to help you become a little bit self-aware. And to identify the things that might be your traps or your pitfalls. I think we all have them. Like I said, sometimes we get on a high and things are going really, really good. And we said, I'm on top of the world and nothing's ever going to change until something changes, right? Now, accountability. This is actually a good one. Accountability versus control. I see this on my channel. Now, you guys don't all have a YouTube channel. You could start one. I like making videos. It's fun. I like a lot of the positive interactions. But unfortunately, even if you're out there trying to spread some positivity, there's people in the world that just want to be negative. So there's a difference between an accountability and control, and you have to identify those. DG Jr. Well, hey, we'll come back to that one. That's a good one. So I think you need some sort of an accountability person in your life. It could be a group. We're building a little community here. So some of you check in on my weigh-in day. I check in on my weigh-in day. I tell you how much I gained or lost. I tell you how my diet's been doing, if I'm on, hit or miss on the workouts, everything. That's me trying to be accountable to myself, to the community, And then some of you guys check in and say, yeah, I'm down a pound, or you guys are checking in and saying, you know, what's going good, what's going bad. And I think that's good. If you can have an accountability group where you trust people to give you solid feedback and advice and kind of help hold you accountable, that works. But there's a difference between accountability and control. If you've got someone in your life or online, this is where I see it. Most of the people in my life, I don't really have too many crabs in a bucket in my personal life anymore. I think I probably weeded some of those out. But, you know, and I think most of my family members and stuff, they may want to secretly compete with me, you know. I think there's a certain amount of people that go, well, if they can do it, I can too, which is great, you know. If that's what it takes to get them off their butt, then great, you know, then I'm leading the way. But you want to choose people either in person or in a community like this where people who know your goal, they want you to succeed, and they can tell you the truth. And here's the key: without taking ownership of your journey. Because some people, it's like this: a good accountability would be like, hey, you told me that this mattered to you, and I can see that you're slipping. How you doing? You know, a good accountability partner says, look, I know what you want, I know why you're doing it, and are you doing okay? Like, what's going on? How can I help? How can I be a support to you, right? A controlling accountability partner, which is not a good accountability partner, basically says, your way is wrong, you need to do exactly what I did. And there's some of those that show up on the channel from time to time. I've noticed it, you know. I booted a gal from the channel today. The comment they left is just not even, it wasn't like, hey dude, you're a big fat jerk, or it wasn't like some sort of personal attack. It was just unnecessary, uncalled for. And when I clicked on the user's name, I realized that they've left 5 comments over the last month on different videos and different things, and every single one of them was an idiotic comment that means nothing to nobody. And so it's just negative, and I don't need it. So YouTube has this fancy, nice little feature called hide the user from their channel. It's brilliant because you're not blocking anybody. That person can still watch the videos. They can still leave a comment. The beauty of it is they'll never get a response because nobody sees the comment. And then you can hide the notifications. So I don't even get notified that they left a comment. They're literally out there commenting into the abyss. So guess what? You still get the watch time. You still get the credit for the comment, even though nobody will ever reply to them because nobody ever sees their negativity. So I think that's brilliant on YouTube's part. It's a great way to politely say thanks but no thanks to people. And, you know, I love it. It's great. I've only done that to about 3 people since the channel started over the last several months. I don't mind if someone pushes back a little bit, if someone, you know, whatever. But if someone's just coming on being a jerk, or if someone's just like my way, my way, my way, my way, my way, it's like, if that's all you care about, go get your own channel, right? I'm sharing my journey. This is my channel. And the people who are watching are found some sort of interest in my story and my journey. And they're sharing their journey too in the comments and different things. And I love it when you guys share your successes. I love it when you share some of your failures. I love it when we can connect and I see you guys connecting. That builds a sense of community. But what I just won't put up with is negativity over and over and over, because at the end of the day, it's not accountability. It actually just affects everybody who's reading the comment, whether it's me or whether it's one of the viewers or whether it's a frequent commenter. And so quite honestly, if I see something that I feel like crosses the line or just gets annoying, then they're gone. So that's that. That is all 8 points. Accountability, a good accountability, a partner versus a controlling partner. So here's time for the game. This is where it's time for you to participate. It says there's 14 of you on here watching, which is not much. I know a lot of you will watch the replays, so it's not as fun for you because you don't get to participate in the game. But we've got a little bit of a game here. So your job is to type in hiccup or habit. Hiccup or habit. Okay. See you, buddy. Hiccup or habit. So a hiccup is what it looks like if it's normal life. So if it looks like a normal, little hiccup in your giddy up, then type hiccup. Type habit if it looks like an old pattern that might be starting to take over. This is just to kind of help us identify some situations, some real life situations, and try and start to get an idea whether those are just little blurbs or hiccup or habit. So number one, you are on vacation and have one meal completely outside of your normal plan. Hiccup or habit? There is no right or wrong answer. Gee, this is just up for discussion. Hiccup or habit? You're on vacation, you had one meal completely outside your normal plan. Hiccup or habit? I'm going to say it's a hiccup. Is my audio getting delayed as well? Because I know the comments seem to be delayed. So are my lips in sync with the audio, or every week it seems to get off? Hiccup. Yeah, I'd say hiccup, right? I mean, one bad meal isn't going to ruin your whole plan, whatever that plan may be. It's when the hiccup starts reverting into continual things. Like I said, when the meal becomes two meals, the two meals becomes a weekend, and different things like that. So thank you guys for saying audio's on. It's okay to have like an off moment, right? That's just a hiccup along the journey. That's my opinion. But if it becomes a pattern, that's when you have to identify the pattern and realize, hey, this is old habits creeping in. So let's go back to number two, hiccup or habit. You have said, I'll start again on, too close to home. I'll start again on Monday. 3 Mondays in a row. Hiccup or habit. I'll start again on Monday. 3 Mondays in a row. I would say that's a habit. That's what that is. Falling into old patterns, right? And that needs to be identified, and you definitely need to, do a start, stop, and continue, and come up with a new game plan to pick something you can be consistent at and turn away from the habit, right? I agree with you guys. That's a habit. Number 3, you miss your normal workout because something hurts. These are all too close to home. I got a shoulder. You miss your normal workout because something hurts, but you do a different safe activity instead. Hiccup or habit? That one should be pretty obvious. You missed your normal workout because something hurts, but you do a different safe activity instead. I'd call that a hiccup. And here's my reasoning. You're going to get injured. Most of us here are old. Look, trust me, my audience is old. 40 to 70 is my demographic. We do not get 22-year-olds around here. So you're going to get injured. You're going to get hurt. And it's sometimes as often as hard as we try, we might sprain an ankle. We might, we might get an inflamed knee. We might have a stupid shoulder act up. Something like that, right? But if you can't do what you originally planned, but you come up with an alternative, no big deal. That's a hiccup. Right? And actually you adapted. See, the thing about hiccups is you can adapt. It's changing something on the fly. I can't do an overhead press, so I did something else. Number 4. That was a pretty easy one. Number 4. Oh, geez. Like, did ChatGPT help me write these about me because it knows me and knows my journey? This is pissing me off. You stop stepping on the scale because you already know you will not like the number. Hiccup or habit? I mean, come on. That's a habit, right? I think the chat is behind me. It's a problem. Yeah, I'd say it's a habit, right? Because it starts being a pattern. You can recognize the pattern here. You know, you stop stepping on the scale because you already know what it's going to say, right? You're afraid. You're hiding from the scale. I did it a few weeks ago, and I think I went 3 weeks without a weigh-in, and I knew exactly what was going on because I had weighed in every other freaking day. I knew exactly where I was. I didn't want to show you guys, so I hid my face in shame. I skipped the scale, and I skipped the weigh-in video portion. So yeah, that's falling back into old habits, right? All right, number 5. See, I like these. These are fun. Okay, this is easy. You eat something unplanned. You eat something unplanned at a family event. You enjoy it. How dare you? But then you go back to normal the next day. No, the next meal. So you eat something unplanned at a family meal, you enjoy it, but then the very next meal you go right back to being on track. Right? Hiccup, right? You guys got to get quicker on the draw. Because I think my comments are behind the audio. Yeah, it's a hiccup, right? It's not a big deal, right? You get you did something off plan, you got right back on. It's kind of like question number 1 it was again, but number 6. Guys, gotta be quick here. Here we go. I know these are too easy. Every stressful workday now ends with the same food or drink you were trying to stop using for comfort. Okay, well that's just all too familiar, but we all know the answer, right? That's a habit. Yeah, Sharon. Sharon. Dude looks like Brother Love from WWF. I've never gotten that one. That's interesting. I'll have to look that up. You know the one I get more often than anything? I think I told you guys this before. Because I don't think I look like a lot of people, you know. Most people aren't this ugly. But Glenn Beck. Did I tell you guys a story of when I was in Costco? And this old man walked up to me and he goes, "Are you Glenn Beck?" I was like, "No." And he's like, "You're not?" And I'm like, "No." And he stood there behind me for like 2 minutes. And then he taps me on the shoulder. And he goes, "Are you sure?" I blew it. I should have taken my picture with him and given him an autograph and told him I was, but I didn't. Anyway, on to the game. Sorry, I get sidetracked. You miss 2 walks because life is nuts. Then schedule the next one and actually do it. Okay, these are really stupid. This is too easy. Okay, you miss 2 walks in a row because life is crazy, and then you schedule one and you do it. Durr! That would be a hiccup, right? Except it happened twice, so maybe it's a hiccup. Hiccup. Number 8. I'm not even gonna have you guys answer that one. Moving on. This is the last one. Then we can chat for a minute. You catch yourself hiding what you're doing from the people that Jeez. This is all about me. You catch yourself hiding what you're doing from the people who normally keep you accountable. Hiccup or habit? That one's easy too, guys. You know the answer. I'm going to give the chat a second to catch up because it seems to be behind. So come on now. You catch yourself hiding what you're doing from the people who normally keep you accountable. Chairman has the right answer. That's a habit. Rick got the right answer, right? I mean, come on. Have you guys been there? I mean, I literally think I'm speaking to every person Um, uh, you know, there's a lot of people in the world that have lost weight. There's almost as many people who have gained it all back. And for the people who have, well, this sounds horrible. How do I say this right? You got a couple types of people. You got the person who has never struggled with weight and they've always been able to keep it off. You know, they got stellar metabolism. They've stayed fit their whole life. They made diet and a good proper diet and exercise a priority from the time they were young, and they just maintained a good healthy physique, and that's awesome. I applaud those people. I look up to them. I think that's amazing. And I'm not saying that someone in that boat would ever have like a sad day or ever have a bout of loneliness or ever maybe feel depressed or have anything bad in their life happen. Maybe they got terminated from a job or, or something. Because their life isn't perfect either, because a lot of those people could be absolute a-holes. But I think sometimes they don't necessarily understand what someone who has either had severe trauma in their life, emotional damage in their life, things like that. I think a lot of people who are overweight and who struggle have deeper issues that they're dealing with in their life, and they're trying to overcome things. And I applaud them for riding the roller coaster, because sometimes you lose the weight and you're up, you're doing really good. And sometimes you're falling back into old patterns and habits and you're doing bad. And I think the most important thing about this channel for me, I really believe in a rising tide raises all ships. So if you're here, I'm asking you to try and be here to spread some positivity. Try and be here for your fellow human being, whether they're from England, whether they're from Scotland, Australia, Washington, Oregon, even the folks from California. And that's a joke, sorry. But, we want to uplift each other in our weight loss journey, right? I think no matter how you're trying to get there, we're trying to be developing better habits. We're trying to gain consistency, exactly what John's saying right there. Habits and consistency beat willpower all day long. Yeah. And sometimes it takes willpower to have good habits and consistency. It kind of all goes together, But developing behavioral change is what I think is what will have long-lasting effects. And it's hard to do that if people in your life are trying to bring you down. So I think this is hopefully a place where we can discuss real life issues, where we can support those that maybe we don't understand, because you don't know what other people are going through. I tend to use humor a lot. I like to laugh. I like to joke. Sometimes I use sarcasm, and I'm guilty. I can be too sarcastic. But, a lot of you have shared part of your story. And it touches me because I know that what you may be going through is hard. Because it's not easy, right? So by identifying these things, using a start, stop, and continue, using some of these tools and different things that we talk about on the weekly lives, the videos are more of my just me pontificating thoughts and different things and checking in, tell you what I'm doing and cooking a steak or blah, blah, blah. The live streams is more, I'm trying to share some sort of knowledge that maybe I've learned or gained or studied that might help me, might help those who end up watching. So, I hope we can lift each other up and realize that we're all on the same journey. We're all trying to get to the top of the same mountain, and that we can support each other along the way. So I appreciate you guys. Want to let you know that. I thank you for tuning in regularly. I didn't even make a shameless plug tonight, but I will. I got no shame. But if I ever say or do anything that means something to you, that makes a difference in your life, you want to support the channel, you can do a super chat on the live streams. Several of you have done that, and it's awesome. I'm saving up the little nest egg for, I'll cash it out when I get to 500 bucks. Like I said, YouTube is not lucrative, especially at this juncture. So I appreciate you guys' support that way as well. Hopefully get some better equipment, things like that. But I just want you to know I appreciate you. Whether it be a financial donation, whether it be just simply watching, whether you give a video a thumbs up. There's a little thing called hype points. I don't even really know what that does. But the bottom line is, anything you guys do to just show a little bit of support, I appreciate it. It means a lot. It makes me, I mean, I do this because it's my own journey. It's my own accountability. I actually kind of enjoy, I think it's a little therapeutic. You know, I get a lot of my thoughts and my feelings out of my head onto a video. I know a lot of you have thanked me. Some of you consider it inspirational. I know there's a few people that are there just to see me fail, and that's okay too. It takes all types. But we're just gonna keep going. We're gonna keep plugging away. And I think the main lesson for tonight is, again, that's it. You know, identify the setback, do a regular start, stop, and continue, and try to interrupt the pattern before the action happens. So if you can start to identify what happened before I wanted to eat that, or what happened before I skipped that workout, and start identifying those things, then you have a much better chance of doing what I guess John said, which is 100% right, which is building good habits and consistency. Because at the end of the day, consistency and persistence is what wins the day. If you remember from a few weeks ago, I will persist until I succeed. So, anything, we got a couple minutes left. I've given my shameless plug. We've given the lesson. We've had some fun in the game and some chat. If any of you have a question, we got a couple minutes left. So if you I'm gonna scroll back, see if I missed anything that was a question. I'll probably make a couple of you. Hey, raise your hand if you want to be a moderator on the live streams. Some of you come every single week, and I appreciate that for being a regular. And you know, we don't get as many people as pop in anymore as we used to. The live streams aren't really growing in viewers or popularity, so I kind of wonder if they're worth it. I mean, I enjoy it. I enjoy interacting with you guys. I'm just scrolling through here, sorry, but I guess tell me if you think that are the live streams worth it, or should I just make a regular video? Tell me in the comments, give me a question or tell me something that you struggle with, and let's talk about it for a minute. We've got a couple minutes left, so anyway, I'm open. So you have to be nice to people from Lancashire. Dude, I don't even know what that means. I'm guessing you don't. Oh, hey, John, I was going to tell you, I went and checked out your channel. You need to make more barbecue videos, dude. Do you have a Weber Searwood? Is that how you originally found my channel? Because I clicked on your thing and I saw you had a channel, a couple of videos, and I watched a couple of your barbecue videos. I'm still figuring mine out. But love the live streams, JC. It's time to be nice. Awesome. John. Yeah, man. Make some more smoking videos. War of the Roses. Okay, they're like they're the next door neighboring town, the common enemy. Is that what it is, Chairman? Sweet. Yeah, I'm liking it so far. I'm like late to the Searwood game. I only got mine like a month ago or so. I watched a lot of videos before I decided to buy that one. Actually, I was gonna get a Yoder. I had the money saved up. I could have paid cash for a Yoder, which they're expensive. But now my brother-in-law has one, and they're awesome. But I'm like, it's like too much machinery. It's like I just don't think I need it, and so I didn't. Hold on, getting a couple things here. You won't get the kind of interaction on our regular videos you do on these lives. Well, that's true. It's a different interaction for sure. I'm here to succeed you. Here to see you succeed. Thanks, Rick. Appreciate it. Uh-oh. Another one from Scotland, or is that James under a different account? Sweet, dude. We got 2 from Scotland? Heck yeah. Yeah, I seared a steak last night at like 500 degrees. After I put it on smoke boost for about 45 minutes to an hour, got it up to 123, cranked it up to 500, did like a minute per side for 3 to 4 minutes. Turned out awesome. It was easy, super easy. I'd like to hear about blah blah. I'd like to hear about how everyone else is doing. On my way to the gym at 8:57. That's awesome. Get it done, man. There's one setting on these things. It's time to be nice. I don't really know how to do it. Well, it's a setting. I can click a button, but I think it's where I could allow someone else to come on. I just got to learn more about it. I don't know if it's I select the person that can come on, because I think it would actually be cool to feature some people from the channel, some people like you guys, who someone like John maybe who's been through it, is maintaining and doing really well, and someone who has maybe a little bit more like me, who's been up and down and all that kind of stuff. I think it'd be cool to get on here and actually a little bit more like a podcast where we can talk and ask questions back and forth and doing things like that. I think it'd be cool. I think people might be into that. Chairman, isn't England kind of messed up right now? Nice. Serum on 600. I like that. All right, we got a couple minutes, guys. This is the fun part. So I think that'd be cool. I just got to figure it out. It'd be better if we had, I'd love it if we had like 1,000 people on here, but that just may take time. May never happen, may take time. Who knows? We'll see. We'll just keep going. The biggest thing is to keep on the transformation journey, keep hitting the daily action items, adding more stuff as I feel like I can. I really, really want to get back in some weights. So I think probably I'm doing really, really good on the walks and my 3 things that I have identified. So next week I may add in some lower body stuff, because I can do squats and I can do a calf raise and I can do things like that. Nothing's stopping me except for whatever. Oh, Jake, such a child. So, yeah, I feel the same way, John. Which is why I immediately went on 3 months carnivore and got my A1C from 13.6 down to 5.9. So, all right, we're out of time, guys. Anyway, that is the live stream for tonight. Thank you for your participation. Thanks for playing the game. I kind of like that. If I can have a topic where I can have chat. I mean, I'm not, I just think it's fun. It's kind of fun. Gives us some laughs. So anyway, appreciate you guys. Tomorrow is a story time with Dude, and I think I've got a pretty good story. Yeah, it's a personal story in my life of something that happened and ended up being a really good result at the end of the week. So anyway, we'll share that, and then we'll be back into our regularly scheduled Unstuck. This is how you get unstuck. Good night, everybody. Appreciate you guys. Love you. Have a good night. See you tomorrow.